be wearing sweatpants, or is that not a thing?
I'll try. How's it going? This is Evan and Matt with ITB Muskie. We are kind of to that lull of winter, and we had kind of this pipe dream that at some point we would start putting out kind of like podcast type videos, mostly to keep our minds off the fact that we can't fish yet, but also we want to cover, kind of basically recap our season, what we did, what we were doing, how we were fishing, why we were fishing, where we were going, why we were going there, kind of give you, I don't know, more look into how we muskie fish and how we live our life in the muskie fishing world. Winter is just now kind of wrapping up. Ice fishing's ending. We just had this is a Sunday, so last weekend we had a big fundraiser memorial for one of Matt's buddies, and that was a lot of fun, and there was a good turnout, but I think now this last week was kind of hard on us. We started to realize we only have a few months to get things rolling, so we're going to go through our season step by step, well, video by video, I guess, talk about different fish that we caught, and we are actually projecting it behind the cameras so we can watch some of these videos, and that sparks our memory a lot of times for things that we forget. So we're going to start right away with the 2020 opener. I guess I don't have that video up, but we know what happened, and I'll let you talk and tell kind of the setup so I'm not hogging all the mic time.
So we decided to go to Castle Rock, Petenwell area, center of the state, and I think we learned that that's big water to fish the opener, and it's early and the water's cold, and so it was super fun because we did muskie camp, and I know a lot of guys do deer camp, and so we camped, like literally we camped and had a fire and did all that kind of stuff. So that was a blast. It's just that the fishing was not good, and so we went up and we fished on Saturday all day, and then we got up and we're talking on Sunday morning about what to do, and we ended up driving back and fishing Lake Winger in Madison, just because when you're looking at water temps and you're just struggling so much to find fish after a whole day of not seeing anything, and beginning of the season, you're jacked to go see some fish, and then when you don't, that's a disappointment. So we went down to Lake Winger and we did see fish. We didn't catch anything, but we see what we.
And to be fair, Steve and Brandon saw one or two fish.
Yeah, I think they fished down below the dam.
They fished under the dam, though. We tried to fish the actual Lake Petenwell because we figured the dam was going to be super busy, and one of our other sets of buddies that came up with us fished under the dam, and I think they saw two or three fish or something.
They did move some fish. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many, but I know it was a zoo for them, but they moved fish. So
yeah. We came back to Windra. I moved one fish. It looked like a good fish, but that means nothing because it's not.
Yeah, you were kicking yourself because you wanted to get on the board, which I don't blame you.
Well, but also that I trusted my eyes. That fish turned like that and flashed, and I assumed it had already eaten. So I set the hook away, and it was just nothing. So it must have come in when I turned and been on it and turned to follow it. Yeah. And I probably ripped it away from it and then got all salty and
got to rip its face out.
Yeah, I don't do that very well. And then I think that was it for the opener. We moved on to the next weekend. I feel like I had to have had something going on because there's a reason you and Jack went fishing and I didn't.
I think that was during the week.
Oh, this is COVID. Okay, so Matt and I both work at the same school. I'm a teacher. He's the assistant principal, the assistant to the principal. And so when COVID happened last year in the spring, we were working until noon roughly, and then
that's when the kids got done, and so then we could get done. You could reasonably leave the house a little bit earlier than you normally could. So with the longer days in May, we were able to get out and fish after work a few more hours than I don't know what you normally could. So
yeah.
we were getting on the water at probably 3 or 4, and it's getting dark at 7. So it was enough to 7 or 8. So it was enough to go out and fish. So
yeah. So we were getting out a lot more than we usually would in the spring, and so obviously one night you and Jack just ran up the Windra, and that was the second video from this year that we put out. And actually, I'll let you tell the story because you were there, but Jack essentially stole a fish from Bright, and it was really funny.
A few years ago, somebody told me to try Johnson silver minnows with a white frog, plastic frog attached to them, and in the springtime in Madison. And I thought that sounds dumb, but it's cheap, and I'll give it a try. Well, I started having action on it right away. And so I've been fishing in Madison in the springtime with that combo now for a couple of years, and I've had a lot of action on it actually. And it's good for me.
You don't use the big one, do you?
Yeah.
You use the
Okay. It doesn't have treble hook on it, but it's just got the regular hook with it. But it's a pretty big spoon. I mean, it's probably 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah. I didn't know if you used the big one. Or
it's that one.
Yeah.
And so you can't run it very fast because it'll porpoise and go at the top of the water, and that's good for me because I like to run things way faster than I probably should. So springtime, fall time are hard for me because I don't like to slow down. So you have to slow down, otherwise that thing won't. You can't even fish with it. So that I was running that, and I got a strike, and I set the hook on it, and it was just gone. Got it in, of course the white frog is gone, and so I was ramrodding through the boat looking for a replacement, and Jack said, "There's one." Brought it in on his bucktail. I think he was using one of those new MEPs, one of those new little MEPs, which he had a lot of action on this year.
It's not a musky.
It's a single 8, I think. It's not. It's bigger than a musky killer. It's a flashaboo, single 8 MEPs, and they were kind of new a couple of years ago, and then he'd had a ton of action on it this year. I think he caught 2 or 3 fish on it actually, and that was the first one. He caught that one in the figure 8, I think, and that was his goal for the season, was to catch a fish in the 8. So he accomplished it pretty quickly, and then he was all jazzed up. So that was fun too. Yeah, he's freaking out.
Well, yeah. Like you said, his goal was to catch a figure 8 fish, and that's probably one of his first times out for the year. Considering it was that early.
I think it was his first time out for the year.
Yeah. So, between you and him, I don't know who's got a horseshoe farther up their butt. But he sets a goal and then just goes and does it. But this is cool. The reason I left some of this in was because the fish flopped and scared him. But he's afraid of fish. We should bring that up, that he is afraid of fish. No. I thought it was good for handling of muskies.
Well, and to see that this fish was fine, swam away fine, especially when it's colder like that. And it flopped a little bit, but it wasn't like he let it flop around the bottom of the boat. But you can just I have actually sent this to people on muskie forums before and just said, when I've seen holds that are weird, or I see a picture that someone clearly doesn't know what they're doing, I'll just send them this video and say, hey, I'm not trying to promote anything for ourselves or anything like that, but you can see in this video how I show him how to get in there and hold it so that it's not going to jack up your hand and all those types of things.
Well, and this is one thing I've noticed about the muskie fishing world, is that there's just, and I don't know if this is a recent thing, I doubt it, but the stigma behind these fish being glass. They're so fragile, and don't let them flop weird. Don't keep them in the net. Don't keep them high in the net. Don't leave them in the net. Don't hold them with one hand. Don't pick them up if the sun's at your back on a Wednesday. And
it's because we've all had a fish die.
I guess that's fair. I haven't.
I have.
No, but
it's the worst.
I'm new to this too. But that's what I say is, it's terrible. But at some point, it has to be an educational thing, not.
Well, yeah.
And it's keyboard warriors too on the internet.
Well, of course it is. It is. I don't think anybody had shown me how to hold a fish until I was a couple of years into it, and so I was doing my best, but I think I was guessing, and so finally one day I remember we were in Lake St. Clair. The first time I ever went there, we were in Canada, and we went to a diner at lunchtime because we were catching so many fish that we just didn't know what to do with ourselves, and so we went to this diner, and everybody's talking about, how do you hold the fish? How do you hold the fish? It wasn't like a thing that we all knew, or maybe we all thought we knew it, but it was really helpful for everybody to sit down and be like, well, this is where I, slide up right underneath the gill plate and all that kind of stuff, for guys who caught more fish than me. And that was like, oh, okay. And then you got the practice of it because, a trip to Lake St. Clair, you're going to catch, I think I caught 4 fish that trip, which is way more fish than I'd ever caught on any trip ever. So you actually can practice and get good at it versus just kind of like, you're so excited to have actually caught a muskie and not have any clue what you're doing with it, and somebody grips it for you, hands it to you, and then you don't know where you got it. So that was fun to learn it like that, and now I try to show people, like, I don't want to tell someone what to do when they're on the boat, but I also want to make sure that they feel comfortable with what they're doing and not make it a big deal that if you hold it wrong, the fish is going to get hurt or something like that, which they can, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you just say, no, just, take your time, it's okay. If the water temps aren't super hot, you usually have a little bit more time. You're not. It's not something you have to worry too much about. So you can take your time and then get it right, and then get it back in the water right away.
Yeah, I just, and don't get me wrong, I understand that. Like, I'm not advocating for like, just whatever, they'll be fine. Like you've seen me handle fish, and you fished with me. Like, I understand they are somewhat delicate and all that, but like. Oh, I just get like I think sometimes there's guys out there who are just looking to say something. Gotta say something. I can't just scroll past this. I gotta say something.
Well, when you see them on those on the Facebook pages, you're that poor guy has 74 comments because 40 of them are guys telling him that he messed up.
Yeah.
The other one about Jax is that people really like that I wiped my hand on him.
When you slimed him?
When I slimed him. Yeah.
I really like that. There's a reason it's in the video.
This is Lake Wingrove.
This is your fish.
Mm-hmm.
And of course this fish launched out of the water too.
Yeah, because it swam over the top of it. So I hooked it in the throat. And then so I was using a small rod because I was using like a springtime setup, and there was a smaller bait.
I frantically reel. I also am using the. What are those? What's that?
What a nice night, though. Look at that. Like,
yeah.
Just perfect for what you want to be fishing. I mean, here we are heading in, like a couple of schmoes.
What was that? I'm using that NACL. That's got to be like a 5.3 to 1.
Yeah.
So there's me cranking in.
Well, no,
6,000 RPMs to try and get my reel in to try and...
Yeah. No, I use that Calcutta 400D, which is a super nice reel for smaller stuff in the springtime. That was what I used for rubber to start out with. That was my first nice reel.
You caught that sucker fish on Pewaukee with it, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
That was on a sucker reel. No. That was on a 6600.
Look at this fish's head. I wonder. So I look at this fish. Like, I've looked at this fish a lot.
You just like staring at me.
No.
You look at it a lot because it looks like I'm wearing a GoPro on my head.
Yeah. No, I look at it a lot because. Look how big its head is.
And gut.
And its gut.
Yeah.
And like, this is where.
It's a cool picture. You can see the Capitol in the background.
That is true. Who were we just listening to? Muskie Breath.
Hammernick.
And he just said, if those fish have a big head,
they're on their way out.
They're on their way out.
He's talking about 57s, not 43s.
You don't think Hammernick?
He doesn't care.
I haven't seen Hammernick on Wingrove in May.
Chases me around, chases me on my spots.
Yeah, he's always been moving me. I find all these spots in Hammernick. I find all these spots on Wingrove, and Hammernick comes and steals them. No, that
Jason Habernick, if you somehow ever see this, I'm sorry.
Yeah. For some reason, you find yourself so bored that you watch this. Probably. I don't know. Please don't watch this. There's a title of this. Jason Habernick, do not watch. No, but that's why I look at this fish a lot, and I go, I wonder if the spawn was doing it in. If that's why maybe it was so, and I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it, but
like it was just really, really hungry.
Well,
but then why wouldn't it have eaten the first 2 times it followed?
But that's what I'm thinking is if it was so beat up and like, because its first 2 follows were pretty lethargic, or at least one of them was.
One of them was, but the second one was on it. And then I thought we went back over that weed bed a few different times, just like immediately. You came back over it, and then boom, 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 and we were hitting on the major and everything, and then Sunset wasn't the major. I mean, it always is, but it wasn't the major this time. But we came back out of that Sunset, and then there it was. So, I mean, grinding them out is definitely the thing to do, especially in pressured water like that. I guess you know you've got fish there.
Grind it out.
I know.
But it's
true.
The worst part about it is that it's true. I hate when people say grind it out, grind it out, grind it out. It's a grind. It's a grind. I hate it. It's so true. I think that's why part of me hates it, because like it's a true thing, and like every musky fisherman does it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just all that time in the water, and you get experience, and you know what might work. This was a Hail Mary because it was a new bait, and so that was just pure luck.
Well, but your dad caught a fish on that thing this year.
Mm-hmm.
On Pewaukee, exact same lure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Exact same lure.
Yeah.
Those little, and it's not little,
jigging it,
which is also a thing.
Yeah.
Jigging it. How often do you think we overthink what we're doing?
like all the time.
Because, like, what if I told you you had to straight retrieve a Medusa all day?
I'd probably quit.
Just fishing altogether?
Just done.
No, I'm done. So what would you rather do? Straight retrieve a Medusa or straight retrieve a Bulldog?
Bulldog. Because it feels more like a Poseidon.
But, well...
But the Medusa has the 3 tails. Where are you going with this?
Moving more water. I'm just saying, like... There's some back there. Of course there are. There's...
Ginger mint. Good luck.
There's literally some back here.
There's some back here, too.
There's 8 back there. Anyways. So, that fish was the first fish we put... Well, not you.
Well, Jack put that first fish in the boat.
Yeah. But you were at least on the boat.
Fish. This is my first fish of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
This was late. Actually, it was like mid-May. We'd fished a lot before we got any fish in the boat.
Little did I know this was the start of me netting something like 15 to 18 fish for you that year, last year.
That was wonderful.
That year. All right. Got that one covered. Oh, this was a good release too. It was a really cool release.
Oh.
That one, like...
Swatted me goodbye.
Yeah, well...
Splashed.
I somehow filmed it really well too. If you guys haven't caught on, I'm the best cameraman. Not stills. That's Jack. Jack's best with stills. I'm really good at getting almost good pictures with a still camera. Alright, I think we are going to try and wrap it up. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being. I know we filmed for roughly 50 minutes or so, where we had breaks and stuff in there too. So I don't know how long the video will end up being. I don't know how much this video will, attention-wise, I don't know how it's going to do. I guess we don't really care. We're trying to put something out. We enjoy talking muskie. If there's anything we said that you'd like to, talk about or anything like that, comment below. That's always fun for us to interact with people. Like I said, we love talking muskie fishing. We're sick for it, just like every other person in the muskie world. But that all being said, I think we'll wrap this one up, and we'll try and get another one done probably in the next well, we've got until 2 months really. So maybe if we start trying to do one.
3 weeks.
You have 3 weeks. You're going to Cave Run. Matt's going to Cave Run. I don't have the money, so I'm going to go fish. I talked to Ryan. I think I'm going to go fish the pier.
There you go.
So I'm going to go catch a 30-inch walleye.
There you go. I'll try to catch a 30-inch muskie.
I'll actually probably catch a 6-pound catfish. That's all I'll catch up there. That's all I ever catch. If you want to know how to fish the pier walleye run and catch nothing but channel cats, I'm your guy. So we will see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching. If you could, subscribe, and like I said, leave a comment. Love to talk to you guys, and that's that. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.